Good morning and happy Monday. Happy week 2. We are rolling. First papers are coming in tonight by midnight in their final draft version. I see several of you have already submitted them. You'll be getting those back. I'll take a look at them, send a grade out. Now is a decent time, I guess, to mention that if you get your final graded version back and you're not pleased with the grade, or you know that if you could just modify that introduction or change up that conclusion, you can make it better. I do offer the opportunity for revisions on final drafts, provided they've been turned in on time and there's genuine effort. Like if you just give me garbage, like, a page or something, that's not worthwhile. That just means you weren't ready to finish the first draft. So you have to have turned in a rough draft, and then, of course, a final draft on time, both on time, and then you are eligible for revision. You will have to, I'll talk about this, I guess, after I get them graded, but basically you have to send in a revision plan. So there's a little process involved, but it's not daunting. Hopefully they'll all be fabulous, and I won't even have to offer up a revision possibility. At any rate, I'll be looking for those. So now the fun really begins. So we want to start looking. You've spent a week looking at other people's arguments, evaluating, reading, considering, thinking about what they do, talking a little bit about the various appeals in writing. So knowing what works, how we connect with people, how we build those emotional connections, but then maintain logic, evidence, credibility. Very, very, very important to have credibility. We don't have much if people don't trust our character and what we have to say. So these are all the basic, very basic pieces of argument. So now, as we move forward, you're going to think about what will become the capstone piece of this course, which is a researched argument. You can't just jump in and know all the answers. The whole purpose of research is to learn something, okay? So if you think you already know how you feel about an issue, what you think you know, whatever, then that's not the topic I want you to explore. I want you to start something with a genuine question, something inquisitive, something you want to know more about. Maybe you're really curious about this whole vaping or what vaping does. Is it better than smoking? That's not necessarily what you're going to do, but why is it so wildly popular? Your generation in particular, most of you, is this, like, you guys were not brought up thinking that smoking was even really an option. And now suddenly they've managed to flip this over and boom, everybody's vaping and that's somehow cool and acceptable or whatever it is. Generations before, that was cigarette smoking. So how have we sort of worked into the exact same scenario, but with Juuls or with other vape products? I'm just learning about them myself. So, okay. Anyway, think about topics that you don't know much about that you'd like to know more about. It doesn't have to be something huge. I don't want you to just Google like hot topics to write arguments about. And yet that's not what we're looking for. I want you to find something that you're genuinely interested in. It could be something local. It could be something that's happening in your community. It could be something that's happening in your life. It could be something larger scale, certainly as well. But know that you have to really be able to manage it in 6 to 8 pages. I mean, you don't want this to explode on you. And are you going to solve, global crises? Probably not. So, like, think about something that's more manageable that you can do research on, that other people have done research on, and that you can find some valid information on in what we know is a pretty short period of time. So to start this process, we begin by investigating, by researching. You don't begin with the answers, you begin with the questions. So think about some potential topics that are of interest to you. So what's kind of driving this whole inquisitive moment? Question, question, question. That's what you want to think about. What do you want to know more about? What are you willing to do more research about so that you can form a position on something ultimately in a paper? So this week is all about that piece of the process, gathering research, looking through these questions. To start with, I know you're still working on your rhetorical analyses, and that's fine. Those are due tonight by midnight. But by tomorrow night, I want you to come up with at least 3 potential topics that or a couple, whatever, a couple of potential topics, things you'd like to explore. I'd like you to narrow it. If you just want to put one, like, boom, this is what I'm thinking about, or I'm between two. And then I'm going to ask you guys to give each other feedback. I'm also going to weigh in because I feel like I need to. If we were in a more traditional class, we would conference about this. So I may be reaching out to some of you individually. I'll definitely be following your discussion threads to see what you're putting out there, and then offering up some suggestions. Then I want you to start doing some research. Look around. Research isn't just finding what other people have to say about the topic. That's not really, I mean, it's beneficial, but more beneficial is, what do you need to know about that topic? Okay, so if you decide that you want to look at your local community, or maybe you want to look at the university's parking policy or something like that, you got to know something about the parking policy, not what people say about it, but what is the policy? How many parking spots are there? How many people actually commute? How many people are residents? Whatever it might be, those are the sorts of pieces of information that you need to draw some conclusions to develop a position. So think about what you need to uncover as you work your way through it. Now, this research step is vital, needless to say, because you also have to make sure that the information that you're uncovering is legitimate. Okay, I've posted a couple links on how to determine the validity of your sources. Some of you are probably already familiar with the CRAP test, okay, checking the credibility, the timeliness, where things are posted, looking for those biases, finding credible research. Ultimately, what you're going to do once your topic has been approved and you've had a chance to start doing some investigating, by the end of the week, meaning by next Sunday, you're going to submit a draft of an annotated bibliography. So you're going to compile your sources. That means you are doing some hardcore researching, and working toward this researched argument where you're going to take a position on an issue. I'll spend a little bit more time tomorrow and Wednesday talking about the annotated bib. I want you to get your ideas out there and start generating some thoughts about that. But ultimately, you have to be thinking about annotating sources, meaning you're going to write a little summary and review. You're going to have them formatted properly, and that provides you with a fantastic starting point for your paper. It's not just, oh, hey, look, I have an annotated bib. It's like, wow, this is all the research I've already accumulated toward my researched argument, toward my paper. So think about it as a step in the process, because this is summer. I know I keep saying it, but it moves very, very quickly. So this is something that might take us, you have to keep thinking, okay, each week in a summer course is 3 in class. So that's why it seems like I'm just hitting you so hard with stuff, but it's necessary in order to get through this. We'll also have another discussion, or blog posting, I'm sorry, this week. Your blog postings, I will check out on your blog sites. You don't have to worry about posting anything else except on your blog site. I'll run through those to make sure everybody posted. At the end of the semester, you'll choose your best blogs and talk a little bit about them. But in the meantime, you'll get credit for doing those as we move along, and some feedback. Sorry, I know that's a lot of stuff for an early Monday morning, but I will be checking in again. Make sure you check out week 2's content module. Make sure you check out the annotated bibliography module. There's more supplemental information inside of those as well. I also love the thread where people are talking about photos and things like that. It's just a conversation thing for me and for you, and a way to connect and share some positions. There's been some really interesting postings there. I will generate some participation points for things like that over the course of the semester. I keep calling it a semester. It's certainly not a semester. Okay, hope you all endured the heat wave over the weekend, and this week's looking fabulous after today. So enjoy your day and week, and I will be checking in later.